Hi. Do you remember this fellow? I'll show you the book and the cover. Paul Hogan, Crocodile Dundee. I happened to pick up this book and read it. It's an autobiography by Hogan himself. And then I looked him up on Google, and to my surprise, I found that Paul Hogan was actually 3 years younger than me. I always thought he was a year older than me. That came as a surprise. The second thing which came as a surprise is that he was born in Parramatta, the very place that I live now. Isn't that strange? Now, if you've ever watched those Crocodile Dundee movies, you'll see he was a big macho man, quite muscular. And now, of course, I remember seeing him on a show quite recently. Diminutive, shrunken, and certainly not the man he was. Maybe I'm not either. But I sometimes wonder what happens. Obviously, we get older. But the one thing we do worry about in retirement is this. Will I be active enough to get around? Will I be able? Will I have my own autonomy? Or will I have to rely on others? Because so often we picture people being old, being looked after in nursing homes and so forth. We know that happens, but if we play our cards right and we retire early enough, then that part of our life might be only 1 or 2% of it at the end of it. If it happens at all, we might simply drop off the peg, as they say. We do not know. But we do know that we like to keep our own, being our own boss, our own autonomy, as they say. Very, very important. So how can you ensure that? Well, we've spoken about this in various other videos. You have to have a certain amount of money to keep you going. Not a lot. If you've got the basics, food, clothing and shelter, and you don't own a big mortgage, you don't necessarily need to own a car. Perhaps you need one. If you do, then good. Have one. But it's a big expense if you don't need one. I know a fellow who's a little bit younger than me who said, I don't really need a car. The public transport is so good, so I'll get rid of it because it's costing a lot of money. Cars do that in depreciation, running costs, etc. But to get back, the main thing we want to do in retirement is keep healthy as long as possible. We know the ways to do that. It takes a little bit of discipline. Now remember, thinking about it, talking about it, then doing it, then making it a habit, habit becomes character. Character becomes destiny. Work on it. Think about it. You want to remain healthy, active as long as possible. You might have to start changing with the way you look at life now, the things you do. I'm not saying you will have to, but you might have to. And then, of course, you might be able to remain strong and fit as Crocodile Dundee appeared. Well, maybe not that long. But even so, I think you get the message. To retain your autonomy, be your own boss, be able to initiate your own plans and do your own things is very important at any stage of our lives. But it does take discipline in our retirement to keep that going. So do so. Look after your health, look after your mental health, keep stimulated, keep looking at life positively, and have a long and happy retirement.